Hello YouTube, this is your boy Eli coming at you with my first ever video food vlog, I guess is what they call it, huh? Hey Ricky, this is not your sister's ass, okay? This is a pork butt. This is a pork butt, also known as pork shoulder. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna smoke it. But before we smoke the butt, we're going to brine the butt. What do we need for brining? Well, we need to have a little bit of salt, quarter cup of salt, quarter cup of sugar, quarter cup of chili powder, and of course warm water, and a cooler that I'm going to brine it in. The cooler will hold the pork butt, the seasonings, and the water together, and we're going to let it brine for a while. All right, so what do we do to brine? First, we're going to do is take this, I'm going to put it over in the sink with some other dishes in there too, I guess. So, opening up that. Okay, then we're going to take the salt, throw it in there. I did have the pork butt in there a little bit earlier, and then there we go. Then we're going to turn on some hot water and make sure it's hot, and then we're going to mix the water into there. Now, I've already done most of that over here. There we go. So I'm going to pour this in there, and then we're going to put the pork in there, and then we're going to put it in the fridge so it'll have time to chill out for a while and brine. All right, that's it for now. I'll be back in just a minute with the next steps to making some smoked butt. All right, so I put all the water, the spices, and the pork butt into the cooler. Now, you're asking yourself, why are we doing this? Why brine the pork butt? Well, if you know anything about pork shoulder or rougher types of meat, the brining process, what that does is the salt and the sugars go in and out of the meat. In essence, it's going to kind of almost slightly break down the meat very slightly, but what also it will do is actually draw more moisture into the meat, and then also a little bit of the flavor from the chili powder. We do this for about 24 hours, and then we'll be able to start the smoking process. All right, that's the end of the first step, the brining process. Thank you for watching. All right, now let's talk about the rub. The rub is just a mixture of whatever you really want to flavor the meat while it cooks. I have this very simple kind of barbecue rub that I do. Consists of 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of chili powder. We've got 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of basil leaves ground up. Now, all you want to do for the rub is just get all these things and mix them together. So we get a bowl here, and we throw them all in there. What this does is flavors the meat as it cooks, draining into the meat itself. The brown sugar will actually help give it that cap, kind of a sweet crusty cap on top of it, and which is always nice. Some people call that the bark. A lot of people don't like to eat that. I love that. It's a little brown, crunchy, slightly, on the burn side, but it's absolutely wonderful and tasty. So all we're doing is going to put all this stuff together, and then we're going to mix it up, and then you've created your own dry rub. All right, see you in the next part. All right, let's talk about prepping the pork butt before we go ahead and rub it down. Now this is the fat cap right here, if you see that. There's some people that say leave that on. There's some people that take it off. To me, this one is not very thick. I may trim it up a little bit, take a little bit off. I want a little bit of fat to soak down in there. But if you look at the pork butt itself, it should have good marbling in it, so there's fat inside of the meat that helps baste it as it cooks down. So you don't need a whole lot of fat on top. So what I'm going to do is trim that down a little bit, and you can see what it looks like after I do that. Let's turn that bad boy back over and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, as you can see, we've trimmed out most of that fat cap, leaving a little bit of the fat on top still to go. Now we're going to prep the meat to allow the rub to stick. What we're going to use is some good old-fashioned Dijon mustard. The acid from the mustard and the vinegar in the mustard helps with the smoking process, in my opinion. Pork always loves acidity, and the vinegars will help that, help soak it in and cook it. So I'm going to take this mustard, and all you really do is take the mustard. If I can get it out of there. All you're going to do is take it and you're going to smear it all over the pork, so you can then put the rub on it. So got that. Get your hands all dirty. Oh, I have probably not said this enough. Well, when handling raw meat, wash your hands all the time. Lots and lots of rubbing of raw meat needs washing of hands. So pretty much that's all you got right there. It's just a nice coating of Dijon mustard on there. Get it all over the pork, obviously, and then from there we'll then apply the rub. All right, now we've got our rub mixture ready to go on to our pork there that's been rubbed down with some Dijon mustard. And really all you're going to do is liberally coat the pork, rubbing it down again. That's why they call it rub. Right, I'm going to shake that on there. And you're going to continue to rub it down and get the entire thing coated with your rub. It's that simple. Just get it all in. Get it all in. Got to get it all in the meat. All right. That's it for now. And we're back. And so we've rubbed the pork down. We brined it before that. So the last step is to smoke it. We have some wood chips soaking in water. I'm going to get those so they smoke up. We've got a water container to go into the smoker. That's our smoke box. Wood chips go in the smoke box. And then we have our smoker. Now I've been rolling the smoker for a while, so it's now up to temperature. You want to make sure that your smoker is up to temperature before you start smoking, because yeah, it just takes extra long to do things like cook at that point in time. So we're going to take this bad boy, we're going to put it into the smoker along with the wood chips in the water, and I'll see you in a second. Pork butt up on the top rack. Down here we got our water tray and our smoker box. Now we're going to close this thing up. And we're going to let it go. Now, you're always tempted to open it up, say, hey, what's going on in there? Hey, why isn't it smoking? Hey, is it done? Hey, let me look at it. Don't do that. Don't do it. Just let it sit. It's going to take hours. All right, it's about 4.5 hours later, and we're going to check on it, add some more wood, and it should be looking pretty good right now. Let's see, after 4.5 hours, that's what we look like right there. We've got some good bark starting, looking kind of nice. Check the temperature out here. Try not to hit a bone or anything. Let's see. I'm gonna do that. In the meantime, while that's getting checked there, we're gonna add a little more smoke. I know it's gonna need some more time. So what we're gonna do is pull this out. That's been all spent right there. So we're going to take that out, add some more wood, check on the temp. Looks looks like it's not even 1:30 yet. So we got that. Quite a bit left to go here. Check somewhere else in there. Yeah, the end. It looks to be about, gonna be about, I don't know if you can even see that with the glare in there, but about 135, which is not near enough what you need for this. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to put some more wood in there, empty that out. Looks like we're fine on water, but we're going to keep going. All right, check you back later. All right, we're back at it. We are back at it, aren't we? It's been about 7 hours. I'm going to do a little mopping. Got a nice crust going. All I'm doing is trying to throw some water and white wine vinegar on it. Kind of mop it. I do a simple little mop, a little acid, a little water. Try to keep it going just a little bit in there. We're gonna check the internal temperature here. See how we're doing there, and see where we need to go next. Stick that down in there. See if we can get a good temperature here. Looking for around 160, a little over 160, because then we can. We're going to do what I like to do, which is wrap it. There's some people that don't wrap it. There's some people that do. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. Checking it out. Going over in there. Down in here. Yeah. All right. Yep. Just got a little bit longer to go. And I think we'll be ready to wrap that sucker up, go to the last stage. All right, thanks for watching. Oh, wind just blew up. All right, we have gotten up to temperature. I just checked it a minute or two ago. And we've gotten up to temperature, so now it's time to do a wrap. That's aluminum foil. We're gonna take that big boy and we're going to wrap it in that. Not sure I can do this one-handed. We'll see. We'll see if I can. We'll stick that there. We'll stick that there, and then we'll try to lift her up a little bit. Okay, don't bring down, don't bring down. Okay. You know what that is? That's called Cook's Rights. Unless, oh, that's just good. All right. So now what we're doing is we're going to wrap this up, and we're going to stick it back in. That way we can finish off the cooking process by it steaming in its own juices. All right, I am going to wrap this up and then stick it back in there. All right, thanks. Check you in the next part. All right, well, I've checked it out. Peeked under the hood. We're looking good. We're looking real good in there. And it's time to take it out and let it rest, kind of steam in its own juices. So we're going to take it out and let it rest for a while, probably about 45 minutes to an hour before we start seeing if we can't just shred this stuff up. All right, we have rested, we've relaxed, and we should be ready to pull. Now, if we did this really well, see this bone down here? I got this bone in my hand. I'm going to just twist that right out of there. See how clean that bone is? I think we did a pretty good job smoking this thing. Should be nice stuff. All right, well, I'm gonna have to put my camera down here just to shred it up, but should be pretty nice. Check back in a minute. In just a couple minutes of pulling with a couple forks, we have been able to totally shred all this pork up. Now, this is perfectly fine just the way it is, though my daughter swears by putting barbecue sauce all over it. Though sometimes she'll surprise me and not even put barbecue sauce on it. Well, I hope you enjoyed my trip on how to make pork butt, some shredded pork, and I hope if I decide to do this again, that you will join me on that trip as well. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Remember, faith, family, food. Peace out.